Hello everyone, welcome to Hue at Home. I'm Tracy Koga. Well, is it Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday? I don't know. It's a short work week because of Thanksgiving Monday and of course all of the turkey and gravy we've all had. So maybe some live music, virtual music, is in store for you. Coming up on Sunday, October 17th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Caroline Marie Brooks will be debuting her solo album. And you don't want to miss it. This is going to be an anthology of songs that are really true to her heart. And it will be up on her website, carolinemariebrooks.com, to get tickets. And the show will also be up there until Sunday, October 24th, until 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, let's go into conversation with Caroline and know more behind her first debut solo album. It seems that we have been caught in a virtual time warp, Caroline, because I don't know whether it was the end of the second wave, the beginning of the third, and now we're in the fourth, and we're still doing this. It is so frustrating, but it is beautiful in a sense because we still can connect. And Caroline Brooks, we know her as 1/3 of the Good Lovelies, an amazing trio. Now we have Caroline Marie Brooks solo. And the title of the new album is really cool too, isn't it?
Thanks. Yeah, there's actually another Caroline Brooks who's an amazing musician out of LA. So I have put my middle name into this project just to help a little with confusion.
So clarify. Okay, so when I was referring to the title of your album, Everything at the Same Time,
Yes.
that is
Yes.
so true. That is so
Yeah.
true. And what we're in right now, but it's also in our daily lives, like in our work lives, everything at the same time. Everybody
Yeah.
wants the same thing or something at the same time, and we're forced to like split ourselves in multifaceted pieces and try to make something cohesive. So I don't know if that's like probably not the basis of the album, but let's get right to it. The reason to go solo and the concept behind your first debut solo album.
Yeah, it's a big question. What made me go in this direction? Well, I've been working on it for about a year. So I started, well, I guess a little bit more if you count the songwriting process, but I've wanted to make a solo record for a long time. As you know, I'm 1/3 of a band called the Good Lovelies, and that has been my main gig for most of my professional career. And I love making music of all kinds with lots of people. And I wanted to celebrate my middle age. My 40th birthday was this last summer. So I knew leading up to that that I would want to record some really personal songs and mark a very specific time of my life. So I'm a parent of young children. You might hear some video games downstairs. I'm on my own with my son right now. And so, yeah, I'm just in it. Everything at the same time is happening. Like you nailed it, Tracy, because we're like not just one thing. We also don't just feel one thing. And that is really at the heart of this record, is like that idea that, you can have extreme joy, but you can also see sadness in moments. Like the way I like to explain it is, my kids are growing up before my very eyes, and it gives me so much joy to see them growing and becoming like fully formed humans. And then at the same time, there's like a grief there watching your babies grow, so you can have like these layers of emotions. You can be more than one thing. You can, yeah, experience many things simultaneously. And that was really what I wanted to mark in a lot of the songs on this record. So the title was fitting.
Well, let's talk about the process. I mean, how different is it when you're writing in a trio as opposed to writing for yourself?
That's also a great question. I just came off of a week-long writing trip with Carrie and Sue. We're writing songs for a new record, and it was probably the most collaborative writing we've ever done before. So traditionally, Good Lovelies records, songs would come either fully formed or partially formed, and we'd share and, refine together. With this collection of songs, I sort of took myself, I took all expectations away. And I hope I carry this forward because it, with any work, even being a musician, there's a certain amount of expectation that flows through that. So, my band has been a band for almost 16 years, and people have certain expectations around it. So when I was writing the songs for this record, I knew they'd be very like personal and family focused, but also I kind of liberated myself from any, expectations on myself about where it would end up. I was like not thinking about, is this a song that's going to end up on, CBC, or would this ever make the radio, or would this work on a playlist? Like I just stopped and I wrote these songs for myself, and that sounds a little selfish in a way, but it was actually just a really nice experience to mark this specific time of my life, and feel these songs very deeply. And again, like writing for Good Lovelies, it's not that I don't do that. It's just it knowing that these songs wouldn't necessarily end up anywhere was kind of a lovely feeling, and helped me focus my writing.
Oh, great. And you talked about family. So opening up, and when any songwriter writes songs, they're vulnerable. I guess putting your life out there. And like you said, there's a turning point or whatever. Like, hey, 40 is like the new 20, girl. So don't worry about it.
Thank you.
29 again, boy.
Yeah,
No,
that's
but
right.
but still, and especially for females, especially for women, right? How much did that play into, I guess, rethinking, or why am I doing this now, or is this a good idea? All of those things. We always talk about, oh, this is a great thing and whatever, but maybe I'm switching around, talking about the doubts and how you work through them.
There's certainly doubt in anything we do. And yeah, turning 40 was definitely felt more momentous than any of the other birthdays I've felt so far. Even here, turning 30 felt different than this. I think it's partially because I can remember my mom at my age, and I can start like when I spend time with her, it's really interesting because I'm like, I still see her as my age, now.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's like a circularity to that. And then the doubt piece is interesting because I almost feel less doubt as I get older. I kind of know what I want more. And I certainly felt that making this record, making the sounds on the record, knowing what the songs would be like form wise, and what kind of instrumentation. I worked with this amazing co-producer, Jim Bryson, who I've spent a lot of time with. I love him dearly. He did such a beautiful job with this record. And it was a very empowering experience to make this record because I was more in the driver's seat than I ever have been. And the doubt was oddly not quite there. I mean, there's always doubt when you release music and you're like, will it connect with people, And I've just released this new music video, and it's scary, right? It's always a little bit scary to put things out in the world. But as I grow older, I'm almost more secure in what I want to do and how I want it to sound and look. And so that's quite empowering. But the nagging doubt is always.
Well, and you know what? I think as you get older, you do get wiser. Or
Yes.
maybe we grow a tougher skin. I don't know. But even, the process of making this album, yes, probably virtual with a lot of your musicians. You mentioned Jim. He has been, been like one of the top producers. I guess for you now, what would be the next steps? Would you go into producing too?
I mean, the door's been nudged open, certainly. I'm like working on my technical skills in production, like learning about miking techniques and what kind of sounds I want to make. I have a lot of feelings about how things should, or not should, how I'd like things to sound.
Yes.
And, I've always been Carrie, Sue, and I, with Good Lovelies, have always been quite vocal about what we want when we're making a record. So we've always been very involved in that. Whether I want to actually drive, like steer the ship, I don't know if that's my thing yet. I'm not closing that door because I certainly am open to it with the right kind of artist. But I loved this experience with Jim, and just having this like very focused, but open experience where we could just, you know, bug each other and say, you know, I don't like that, or yes, oh, that's a great idea. Let's go down that road for a little while. And it was very, very cool. And I'm super grateful to him because he was quite patient with me. I mean, I was patient with him too, but we were patient with each other in making our way to what the record sounds like today.
And a lot of people don't realize like the give and take relationship to getting a record made, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, from the songwriting to the music, and then it's like the production. It really is, I think, to find the producer and, you know, and vis-a-vis the producer finds the artist where you can have that flexibility and I guess maybe that trust that you can be so honest, I think makes the end result
Yeah.
even better. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah. And I've been really lucky to work with some amazing producers over the years. And I don't think I'd work with anybody who didn't, you know, like take the, like as an artist, primarily as an artist, you know, those perspectives are so important to, I've never been in a position where I haven't felt like I could say something, you know. I mean, maybe in the early days because I was really nervous or I didn't have the language around to speak to what I wanted. But yeah, I've always been really blessed with really great partnerships and working with people that I really trust. And it is, yeah, it's a trust relationship for sure. And I don't think unless you've really experienced it, it's really hard to understand because you're basically taking your most vulnerable self. You're writing songs, in this case, very personal songs. And you're laying them out and you're saying, let's make this work. And so it's very much a trust relationship both ways. And I'm really very proud of what Jim and I were able to accomplish on this record. The sounds make me so happy, and like, yeah, it exceeded my expectations for sure. And I'll always think back to this experience as, well, such a huge one for me, you know, personally and creatively, professionally, and, you know, on a friendship level too. Working with Jim was just, I don't know, I felt like home. It was fantastic.
Well, it sounds like the timing all aligned and the timing was right. Okay, so let's talk about these songs. Your favorite or one, I guess, you know, and it's like kids. No, I can't tell you which one
No,
is
I
my
can't,
favorite.
I can't tell you.
Okay, so let's go. Which one was like the worst or the hardest to get through?
Yeah.
Or hey, we didn't think, we thought this was a dud, but then in the end, it made the final cut.
These are things that happen in the studio. You know,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can write like a song that you think is amazing and you bring it to the studio and for whatever reason it's not working. And I know I've experienced that over the years where there's just songs that get left off of records because they just don't come together in the same way. There are a lot of songs that were just very easy, very natural to put together. Songs like Night Drive and Vitamin, those two were the first two singles, and they came together really. I didn't struggle with those ones. Those ones were like a clear path. But a song called Lights Go Down, which is in the latter half of the record, it's a co-write. I wrote it with my friend Peter Katz, who's this amazing songwriter in Toronto.
Yes.
And he's
Yes.
lovely. And he and I wrote this song right before the pandemic hit. And I couldn't find my way in the studio. We just really struggled with it for a long time. And finally, we put a couple elements in that just kind of like, it was like, just like sucked it together some way. It was just like perfect. And one of the things I love about this song now is my brother sings vocals on it. Actually, my whole family, my sister, my mom sing on the record. My dad plays guitar on the record, and my brother sings on this song, "Lights Go Down," which is it just turned out so beautifully. And he's more in like an R&B, hip hop world, and he brought these beautiful elements to the song that I just love so much.
Well, okay, I won't ask you to rap for the song, but I know that you are going to play us out with a song, so I'm so proud and happy. Oh, and yes, okay, yes, virtual concert,
Yes.
Sunday, October 17th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be on or available until Sunday, October 24th. 11:59 midnight.
That's right. You have till midnight.
You have till midnight, but it's yeah, everything all at the same time. Did I say that right? No, everything at the same time. Well, all at the same time.
It's pretty
Everything
close.
At the same time.
Close enough.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you. And here she is, Caroline Marie Brooks. Congratulations on your new debut solo EP, girl.
Thank you so much, honey. Thanks for having me. This is called I Can't Always Be There. Chemistry and English are just part of the picture. You will grow up kind. You will grow up tall. Math and Spanish, gym and music. I cannot keep up. You're getting so tall. Mark this day, love. It's passing so quick, and I want to remember this fairy tale love. It's perfect. Biology and history. Tell me the things you wanna be. Maybe an architect, maybe a bus driver. Oh my God, your eyes are bigger than I can stand. And when you stand up again, you're already taller. Mark this day, love. It's passing so quick, and I want to I'll hold you to my chest, and you squeeze back tighter. You're afraid of your teacher, and I'm afraid of this. You see, she's very nice, love, but not everyone will be, and I can't always be there.
Girl, you know what's up. Ooh, say what, say what, say what. Girl, you know what's up. Ooh, say what, say what, say what. So tell me
Welcome back to Hue at Home. Don't forget that Caroline Marie Brooks's concert is happening on Sunday, October 17th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go to her website, carolinemariebrooks.com, for tickets and more information. Now, we are going to share another installment of the Japanese Canadians Historical Retrospective, this time featuring Midori Bruns. So Midori, it is so nice to see you, and I know that you have so many memories, happy memories, but this is really to share your story of where you started way back in White Rock, BC.
Yeah, it's happy memories now, but at the time when it was happening, it was like sometimes it was just like a nightmare, but it all turned out well, and at this age, I'm just grateful that I went through all that so that I can
Sit here now.
be appreciative and also understand what other people are going through.
So let's start then. Let's start, Midori, with the internment, I guess, and what that meant to you then.
And
Young.
we never did get interned. We were given the choice of either go work in the sugar beet field in the prairies or go into these internment camps. And my mom and dad opted to go to the farm rather than be enclosed and like a prison, So we were put on the train to go to Manitoba or Alberta or Manitoba, and we opted for Manitoba. And I think we were the most northernmost Japanese family in Manitoba. But the people were welcoming, and it's not like you're in a enemy territory or anything. They were just so gracious and offering us this. It's how we should like some beets or potatoes or some. It was we were very lucky. And those 2 or 3 years on the beet field were tough, especially in the heat, and then later on in the fall, it was a different thing. And it was a lot of manual labor, but all in all, that was good for us.
And did you get an opportunity to go to school?
I missed 2 years of school, about 2.5 years. And when we moved to Selkirk from Petersfield, that's when we got to the collegiate. And right 2 weeks before the Christmas exams. So anyway, my art exam was really good. I just like drawing, so that came out on top. But others, we just 2 weeks to study for exams and never had any lessons. So it was, well.
Wow.
But the next set of exam following year was a breeze.
And like growing up for you, did you ever feel that you were different from all the rest? Did you face anything?
Yes, but Selkirk and Petersfield, they were just so welcoming. And of course, Petersfield, we were surrounded by Germans who were in the same boat, and we all had to go and register every month. So there was no problem at all. But in Selkirk, no, I didn't encounter just one incident where a lady was angry because I got served at the butcher shop before her. And you said, you served Japs before us,
Wow.
And that was the only prejudicial remark that I've had to go through. You can't talk back, So.
No. And then you married and had a family. How did you meet your husband?
Oh, in Winnipeg, he's from Germany, and he was apprenticing in pharmacy with a friend of mine, and she introduced Ed to me, and that's how it all started. So it was very interesting. My friend that I speak of is Chinese Canadian from Vancouver, and her husband is English Canadian from Saskatchewan. Ed from Germany, Hamburg, Germany, and me from
Japan.
yeah. So
Japanese
it was the
Canadian.
United Nations.
Oh my
And,
goodness.
yeah, we've been friends for so long. I mean, they're both gone now, but the Germans and the Japanese part were still living. Those who's more enduring.
What was it like, a relationship like that back then? Being
Oh,
not
yes,
not
we-
Caucasian.
We were stared at, not with animosity, but because it was never happened like that. So there's this Oriental face and a blonde, blue-eyed chap from Germany, and the same with my friend who's Chinese, and her husband is blonde and blue-eyed. So we used to watch people's reaction, and they always thought, no, it shouldn't be there. But it was fun.
And have you shared any of your history with your family? The stories from, when you were growing up, doing and working in the sugar beet fields? Have you shared those?
No. It's funny. It wasn't intended that way, but we never talked about it. And maybe it was remembering was a little too hurtful. Thinking about all the tough times we had. But I never talked about the sugar beet farm to my children.
Why not?
As I said, maybe it was bringing back. It was too close yet. At when they were growing up. But now I can talk about it, and of course, they would feel very resentful that their mother had to go through that. But all in all, I think it was a good experience. I know what it's like to be regarded as enemy aliens, and so I'm very sympathetic with newcomers to Canada, what they have to go through. But I think the newcomers have a little bit more confidence because they're not the enemy, whereas we were the enemy. Well, offspring from the enemies at the time, and yeah.
If you look back, Midori, what comes to mind as something that was really important or made a big impact on you? If you look back and think back, maybe.
When I look back now, I see things differently, and I'm very grateful that I had this experience of being the enemy alien and to overcome it and have friends, true friends, and we're still in contact, these friends that I made at Selkirk. They became my friend in spite of all of the wartime feeling. We're still, well, of course, at our age, they die off, my best friend died, and the other one, she moved to Ontario, and I don't know what, we lost contact. So.
No.
But anyway, I think I found a true friendship, many friendship, and they were all very welcoming, and the church welcomed us, and the minister used to pick on me to read the passages from Bible and all that, so Selkirk was a good landing place for us, even though we lived in a shack, because that was the only thing available, but it was a happy time.
And you have lived such a long and happy life. What would you like to say to your family and loved ones? Everything
Comes right in the end. That the years in between is it's really working on your soul to enjoy life and not to look upon all these negative things as being negative. It's just teaching you what it feels like in the negative situation, and also to be more sympathetic with people that are coming in with strange country and strange language. It teaches you the true meaning of Christianity or Buddhism, or to me, all those religions that teach love and honesty and all that. So whether you are Buddhist or Christian or Muslim, it doesn't matter. You just, I have Muslim friends and Buddhist friends, and being Japanese, you can't avoid Buddhism.
That you're so true. It's just everybody is a human being, right?
Yeah. And when I met my Baha'i friends, that's when it really came to it. I mean, they embrace all religion, 9 main religions plus offshoots, as long as it's in your heart whether you deserve God's love or God life. To me, that's the same thing. And the faster you embrace the fact that we're all children of one God, whatever you call it, you can't be anything else but loving and understanding. So at 94, I'm really enjoying the life as it is, and although I can't do a lot of things that I have been doing, I mean, you have to accept your mobility as such and know what you can do and can't do, but what you can do, you make the best of it and do it.
Thank you so much, Midori. It's been
Was
a
I bragging?
pleasure. You weren't bragging, no. No.
That's
True words of wisdom. Thank you.
So the Hive is a climbing and fitness facility, so we're bouldering only, which means no ropes or harnesses. We use mats for protection. But the 4 pillars of our business are climbing, education, health and wellness, and community, and those aspects all kind of come together to create like a 5-star climbing experience.
We want to thank all of our special guests on today's show and leave you with this question. If you had the chance to write a personal song about your life, what would it be? And why? We want to know, so send us an email to hello@ilikehue.com or message us on Facebook and Instagram at iLikeHue. But for now, stay safe and stay healthy, and we'll see you next time on Hue at Home.
April's gray, the softest light. I see through the sleep I couldn't find last night. Look how beautiful it is outside.